Now we left off with a question. And the question that we left off with is the following. That the Ramban says that Sarah Imenu made a mistake. She sinned by oppressing Hagar and sending her out of the house. And Avram Avinu made a mistake as well by allowing his wife to do such a thing. But the question is that that's good if she just acted on her own volition and there was nothing that was precipitating her behavior towards Hagar. But as he points out over here, based on the words of Chazal and based on the halachic authorities, when we say that you're not allowed to oppress another person, that's when you're coming out of the blue and you start oppressing them with your words or your actions, and you send them away and you make their lives miserable. But if that person already did something to you, and that person already afflicted you, and that person already put you down, and that person already did, then you're allowed to defend yourself. Just like if you're in the middle of the night, you hear somebody scrounging around, rummaging around in your house, he's stealing, you're allowed to stand up and defend yourself with a gun, and if it means you're going to kill him because you're going to save your life, you're allowed to do that. I don't have to let somebody come and just walk into my house and take all my stuff. So if somebody is putting me down, and somebody is destroying my dignity, and somebody is laughing at me and making fun of me and making my life very difficult, I don't have to just sit there. I'm allowed to stand up for my own self, and if it means that I'm allowed to be a little bit forceful with them, so halacha says you're allowed to do such a thing. So if that's the case, Rabbi Goldberg, who wrote the Sefer, asks, so then please explain to me what was the great sin that Sarah and Avram did. They were acting according to the law. There's nothing wrong, and yet we know that we are punished as a result for all of history that Hagar has a son named Yishmael who's going to make our lives miserable as a result of this incident. So he writes over here, there is a commentary on the Chumash by the name of the Radak, and he says, D'loi nahaga Sarah bezeh lemidas hamusar v'lo lemidas chasidus. And he says, Ein achinami, you're right. Was Sarah allowed to do what she did? She was allowed to. Does the halacha say that you could respond and defend yourself? It says that you're allowed to. Yes, you can. But this is Sarah Imenu, the greatest woman of the generation. She should act with the midah of musar, of self-correction and control, and the midah of chasidus, of great piety. And that was the mistake that she made. Lo musar ki aval bi shavram machala al kvoida. Avram told her, do whatever you want. She should have withheld her hand from causing pain to Hagar out of the honor that she had for her husband Avram, because she knew for Avram to watch his wife, his second wife, be cast away from the house. It's very hard for Avram to do such a thing. And she did not do what's called the trait of piety, v'nefesh toiva, and goodness of the soul. A person should not do whatever they could with whatever strength and might they have in their hands to hurt somebody else. And the wise man says, how wonderful it is to be meichel someone, to forgive somebody, when you have the ability to be able to hurt them and cause them pain. If somebody did something wrong to you, and they now and you now want to get back at them, but at that time, instead of getting back at them, say, I'm meichel, I forgive you. You ruined my life. You stole my money. You damaged my car, you did this, you did that, you ruined my business, you did all these things. I have a right to get back at you. You know what? I'm going to be higher than that. I'm going to be greater than that. And therefore I'm going to come and I'm going to be moichel you. How wonderful that is. This what Sarah did was not favorable in the eyes of Hashem. Like the angel said to Hagar, Ki shama Hashem anyecha, Hashem has heard your suffering. Now, if Sarah was allowed to make her suffer, so then she should not be punished for the suffering that she caused her. But the fact that the angel says, I've heard your suffering, means that Sarah should not have caused her to suffer. And Avram Avinu did not hold his wife back from subjugating Hagar, even though that it was bad in his eyes what she was doing, Mishum Shalom Bais, but he did it because he wanted to keep peace and harmony in the house. He saw that his wife was very distressed about everything and very distraught, and it was really bothering her, and she wants to oppress Hagar. Now he doesn't really want such a thing to happen because he doesn't like when people are suffering, but he said, Shalom Bais, I have to make sure that it's important for me to keep my wife happy and to keep harmony in the house. V'nichtav Hasibra Hazeh b'Torah, and the reason that this story is written in the Torah is likdois adam yimenu amidos tovos, that we should learn the proper character traits, ulaharchik harois, and push away from ourselves the bad character traits. And he's saying that in the world of Avram, in the world of Sarah, they were such great people, they should have acted on a higher plane of existence. They should not have gone down to what the average person does, seemingly take revenge, put pressure on there. And even Avraham Avinu, who just was thinking about the shalom bayis of keeping his wife happy and keeping harmony in the house, even there, it could be that he's saying, he should have said, you know what, Sarah, I just can't stand by and watch this thing take place. And he should have they should have sat down and learned Musar together. And he should have said, before you make this decision, let's think about it. Are we doing the right thing? And then perhaps Sarah would have abandoned her pressure she was putting on Hagar, and things would have turned out differently. Even that Sarah was permitted to oppress Hagar, but because of the actions of piety, she should have just been meichel, forgiven Hagar for the embarrassment that she caused to Sarah. And that's the problem that we have over here, says Rav Goldberg. Sarah Imeinu, she was halachically doing what she's allowed to do. But on her level, on her madrega of the great spiritual giant that she was, she should not have gone in that direction. She should have picked the road less traveled, which is the road of the tzaddikim. And therefore he writes, Chazal say, Hanelavim ve'enam ovim, those that are embarrassed and shamed, and they don't respond, and they don't try to embarrass or shame the person that embarrasses them. Shoymin cherpasam, they hear their shame and their disgrace. Ve'enam v'shim, and they don't answer anything. Alei because of oyer upon them, it says, v'oyavav ketzeis hashemesh b'gvurasai. Those are the people that are beloved by Hashem. They're like the sun that comes out in the midday in all of its glory. That means the real strength of a person is if they can sit there quietly, even though they were shamed, even though they were disgraced, even though that they were hurt. But they sit there quietly, they don't say a word, they don't respond, they don't try to get him back, they don't try to take revenge, nothing. That's the real strength of a person. And Sarah and Avraham, or Sarah at least anyway, she missed the opportunity to be able to shine her real strength. You hear from this that even in a situation where you're allowed to respond to somebody who oppressed you and hurt you, but the midah, the trait of chasidus, of piety, is just be meichel, overlook the embarrassment and the shame that was done to you. V'alzeh nidba Sarah imeinu, and on that, Sarah was held accountable. She should have been, she should have acted in a higher, loftier way, and she didn't, and that's why the Ramban says that she sinned. Avraham Avinu, it seems over here, he could have avoided letting his wife get away with what she was doing, even though he had a good reason for shalom bayis, for harmony in the house, peace between the two of them. But again, if Avram would have come and sat down with Sarah And he would have said, look, Sarah, we're the two greatest people of the generation. What does the Kodesh Baruch Hu really want from us? Maybe he sent this woman here just to oppress you, just to hurt you, just to embarrass you, to give you shame in this world. It'll take away from you shame in the world to come. Let's try to think about it. And he could have worked it out with her, and they would have left everything. But he didn't. And therefore, the Ramban uses very strong words. Even Avraham is held accountable over here for the creation and the birth of Yishmael. Yeah?
It started with the disrespect of Hagar towards Sarah.
Yes.
But to don't make it right. And Sarah to have asked forgiveness for shaming Hagar.
No. She should have just been meichel. She should have forgiven Hagar for shame that Hagar shamed her. Instead of taking revenge, she should have said, you know what? Forget about it. No big deal. You embarrass me? Okay, you make fun of me, you put me down, it's fine. No problem. I'm good.
Not what I said, but what forgiving would mean just letting it go?
Let go. Just let go. Yes. But
that's superhuman almost, yeah.
Well,
but that's the level of...
But again, that's what we're saying. We're saying that since that Sarah was allowed to do what she did, technically, so she got caught in that position, in that situation, and she should have gone beyond that.
This is another example of a woman being inclined towards using emotion that Abraham was saying. If he would have done some mussar with her, applied reason to the same situation, she may have,
Could very
two of them together would have been able to do it.
Could very well be.
When you first told us the story, you made it sound like it was a barrage of insult. It was a continuous insult. It wasn't like a one time and then she lashed out.
Right. She continued, yes.
Yeah, so she finally got fed up.
Right, exactly.
And you don't know if in between she asked her, please don't do that. Or...
Well, but again, even though she was entitled to get fed up, but the Torah is holding her to a very strict letter of the law judgment.
But do we know if she asked her, please stop doing that? Or I'll have my husband talk to you?
Yeah, but even if she did, let's say that she did, but she wasn't complying, and so she felt entitled to do what she did. But on that, the Torah is saying was a mistake.
Abraham was to fault also that he said, okay, for Shalom Bayit, do what you want.
But again, that's what we're saying. We're saying that Avram could have stepped up and said, we're not going to do that in our house, and he could have convinced his wife not to. But he went along. Again, it's very hard for us to speak about Avram and Sarah as making big mistakes. It's in their world, they're very narrow mistakes, but in the world, when big people make mistakes, it has very vast repercussions.
Think that we were punished for this act because it wasn't life for life; it was way beyond. By sending her out, they were sending her out to die. Basically, it was God who intervened.
Correct.
So it wasn't measure for measure. It was, you insulted me, blah blah, get out, sending you to your death. So this is way above what she was receiving.
Oh, okay.
It's not measure for measure anymore. I mean, you should have sent her out. Here's a caravan, and here's food, and here's this. But she sent her out to die.
Right. I don't know if she said that specifically. Right. I mean,
she ran out of water, and
well, that's later. That's after Yishmael is born. That story with the water is after Yishmael is born.
I thought it was. Well,
but there's two times she gets sent away. One is when she doesn't have a baby yet.
Right.
She gets sent away, which she's just estranged from the house, and that's painful. And the Malach, the angel, said, "Don't worry, because of this, you're going to get rewarded with a son." Then she has the son, and the son is now growing up in the house of Abram and Sarah. And Sarah says, "Abram, get this kid out of here. He's bad news. He's a bad influence on our child." And they send him out. And then he's dying in the wilderness, and they run out of water, and that's when she sees the mirage over here.
The whole conflict started with he was allowed to marry her, and they had a son, and then she used that. I slept with him one time.
Right. So she got pregnant the first. She conceived.
Right.
So she was making fun of Sarah that she conceived,
I see.
not that she had the baby yet.
When you said conceive, I thought she already.
Yeah, no. She just conceived.
So the fault to the call to attention here regarding